There are choices for amateur and professional, offering a choice of creative angles and unique perspectives that simply wouldn't be possible with any other camera. Of course, the possibilities have always been exciting. What makes it practical, and what is the right choice? One of the biggest changes since the early days is the improvement in camera technology, with larger sensors, better video resolutions, and improved stabilization systems powered by onboard gimbals. Then there's also the fact that intelligent flight controls are getting better and better, making drones so easy to fly that even a total novice can pick up the basics in minutes. Here we have come up with the top 7 best drones with HD camera in the market. 2 will find them not only informative but also insightful. Let's get started with the video then. And don't forget to check the product link in the description. Number 1. DJI Air 2S Fly. Non-camera devices with cameras on them, such as drones, tend to be held back by having annoyingly small sensors. So congratulations are due to DJI for sticking a 1-inch sensor in the DJI Air 2S, providing a significant upgrade in image quality and dynamic range compared to a lot of other drones on the market. They've done it before, with the larger Mavic 2 Pro, but this was theoretically a step down the range. The DJI FocusTrack intelligent subject tracking systems are also coming on apace, with active track and avoidance sensors, giving the drone more nuanced control than ever over its own trajectory. It's a huge achievement how much fits into this drone's slim, redesigned chassis. The DJI Air 2S redefines what's possible with drone photography, putting a 1-inch sensor in a tiny package and surrounding it with sophisticated safety and compositional aids. In a way, both views are true. Looking back at the Air 2, that drone came with a newly designed airframe which tucked between the DJI Mavic 2 Zoom and Mavic Mini, giving DJI's range of folding drones a consistent design language. The Air 2's half-inch sensor was larger than its own predecessor, but of course some fans insisted the DJI Mavic 2 Pro's 1-inch sensor should have made its way down. The DJI Air 2S drone is an amazing achievement, bringing a great camera into a compact airframe and combining it with AI systems which are useful and surprisingly accessible. It moves the camera on from the Air 2, welcoming photo enthusiasts to the drone world at a more accessible tier than in the past. Outdoor adventurers, bikers, surfers, and travelers will welcome the drone's size and feature set, while the Mavic 2 Pro now looks very hard to justify. Number 2. DJI Mini 2. DJI defined compact quality camera drones as something which could appeal to and be understood by everyday consumers with the Mavic in 2016, but price and, more recently, weight limits kept some consumers away. Drones over 250g now require registration and a small fee in most countries. The airframe is stunningly light, yet is also the charger, so that's one less thing when traveling light. It feels strong, and the camera is mounted on a 3-axis gimbal that absorbs nearly all twists and turns in flight and can be tilted smoothly. Control is simple. Via the excellent new remote, the range is no longer a worry, and the controller's battery can even top your phone up too. Video is better in 4K and 100 megabits per second, or vloggers happy with 1080p might be more interested in the useful. Still, photos are excellent for the price, though can be a little noisy in anything less than good light. Having the option to process in RAW and shoot auto-exposure bracketed shots, plus automated panoramas, are features that'd please a serious user, while the DJI app is easy to get to grips with and has handy sharing tools with useful image processing features. In fact, with a 12-megapixel camera and 4K video, your creations will easily mix with those from a high-end smartphone. The DJI Mini 2 is the drone the flying community had hoped for last time, a premium machine which costs significantly less than other high-end drones, sidesteps some of the legal frustrations, but still has a stabilized camera, 4K video, and raw stills. It also brings the radio technology pros prefer, together with battery life, to beat most high-end machines. Number 3. DJI Mini SE. The best way to think of the DJI Mini SE in terms of quality is as a flying smartphone camera from a mid-range device. That, though, is a high standard these days, certainly far higher than toy drones and their shaky video, because this drone can hover perfectly thanks to its onboard sensors and has a 3-axis mechanical stabilizer for its camera. Tech enthusiasts might feel that the 2.7K video resolution isn't enough for them, but family members would be hard-pressed to spot the difference against 4K. The drone also scrapes in beneath the 250G registration barrier and has a much more welcoming entry price than anything else DJI offers, making it a perfect gift. Software-wise, the app is intuitive and includes Auto Land, Return to Home, and some cool orbiting effects which will be sure to earn likes. Taking photos with the Mini SE is a breeze, not least because there aren't a huge number of options. You can aim the camera any angle between straight down and directly forward. An extended setting even allows it to tilt up 20 degrees. Video is captured at either 2.7K 30 frames per second or 1080p at up to 60 frames per second. As a low-resolution economy option, this is better than you might expect. The DJI Mini SE is meant to be a good value drone, and it really is. Comparing it against the next model up, the Mini 2, beginners will get most of the features and a good proportion of the flying power for significantly less money. There are some concerns about range, and the feature list is limited, but the core functionality is they're powered by the same software as much more expensive drones, making this feel like amazing value for all but detail obsessives and power users. Number 4. DJI Mavic Air 2 Fly. The DJI Mavic Air 2 was a stunning technical achievement very recently, an incredibly capable drone that, for most people, might look like the only flying camera they'd ever need. With front, downward, and rear-facing distance sensors, the drone is capable of identifying obstacles and not just warning the pilot, but also plotting a course to avoid, say, a wall or a tree if needed. Were it not for the 249G restriction, it might not have been effectively replaced by the lighter Mini 3 Pro so fast. This drone offers an impressive 34 minutes of flying time and better range than the original Mavic Air it replaced, but the real appeal to photographers and videographers is the new 4K 60 frames per second camera, which packs a 48-megapixel half-inch sensor. Your smartphone slots in above the controllers, meaning you see the screen a little bit more easily than the old claw-like DJI controllers. As with other DJI drones, an extra Fly More pack is available which bundles stuff you really need. This costs more, of course, but is often a wise investment. Now we'd suggest looking to buy the lighter Mini 3 unless you can get a good price on this, or if weight isn't an issue, consider the extra imaging capabilities of the more recent DJI Air 2S offer significant advantages, albeit at a higher asking price. The DJI Mavic Air 2 is a massive improvement on its predecessor. It has a better camera, great range, and far better flight times. The software has some niggles, but the AI is impressive, and the drone extremely capable in the air. Safety features are good too, though some will undoubtedly grumble about the lack of 360 degrees collision sensors. Number 5. DJI Mavic 3 Cine. The Mavic 3 is a powerful machine, capable of lifting both a 24mm EFL main camera and a secondary camera, which provides a hybrid zoom. This can be a little confusing at first, but it's best thought of as an excellent 20-megapixel camera that brings the pro features of adjustable ISO, exposure, and, crucially, aperture. The zoom has a notably lower res 12-megapixel half-inch sensor attached at a fixed f/4.4 telephoto lens, so is more of a scouting accessory and surveying tool. The secondary camera cannot produce the image quality, or ProRes video, as an Inspire 2 with the right lens could. Nevertheless, the Mavic 3 will do the job in a lot of situations, and it can do it for much longer too, hovering for up to 45 minutes. Some might see the folding form factor as belonging to consumer territory, but that's an old-fashioned perspective in the drone world and amongst clients. This is an aerial camera that is more portable than most and certainly priced for professionals. The Mavic 3 Cine is a variant exclusively for those requiring ProRes 422HQ format video, which also holds onboard a 1TB SSD to store the uncompressed video it can capture. The video needs to be downloaded directly from the drone as the SSD is fixed. The DJI Mavic 3 is a spectacular piece of equipment, seemingly blasting past the limits of battery length, sensor size, safety, and more. The lens is sharp across nearly the entire imaging area, and Hasselblad's guiding hands have ensured imaging is excellent with or without post-processing. Number 6. DJI Mavic 2 Pro. Given DJI's ownership of Hasselblad, the camera branding of the Pro model might be seen as a gimmick, but the 20-megapixel stills from the 1-inch sensor are unquestionably far better quality than those from smaller sensors. Manual controls allow up to 128,000 ISO to be selected, and video can be output in real 10-bit and in HDR, and there is a f/2.8 f/11 aperture. Only the new Mavic 3 allow adjustable apertures. For stills photographers operating in daylight, a good deal on a Mavic 2 Pro might be better than a Mavic 3. The range of automated flight modes in the DJI drones, like hyperlapse, are all well implemented and easy to learn, making the Mavics very effective creative tools when operated alone. These features are also on offer for the cheaper Mavic 2 Zoom, but it has the potentially more enjoyable zoom lens. It'll stand out in your media feed if nothing else. The DJI Mavic 2 Pro is a drone that takes the impressive portability of the original Mavic Pro and adds not only professional features for content creators but all-round smart collision sensors, and tops it off with a 2x optical zoom lens, offering an all-new perspective and making this one of the very best drones around for video and aerial photography. The DJI Mavic 2 Pro is a truly flexible drone, small enough to be carried in a big pocket and with the ability to create capture moments on a family holiday or impressive content for a professional editing environment. The company has taken the opportunity of the Mavic 2 Pro to cement its reputation as the leading prosumer drone manufacturer. Number 7. DJI Mini 3 Pro. The DJI Mini 3 arrived in May 2022 and redefined what DJI was doing with the ultralight category. Prior to that point, neither of their offerings had any collision sensors, but with this launch, they not only added sensors in 3 directions, but created a new camera gimbal capable of turning to capture portrait images. At the same time, a new DJI RC remote control became available, giving customers the choice of a model with a screen to save the fuss of connecting a phone. There will also be a choice of batteries, with a heavier long-life battery available in some markets. The message is clear: we're not going to let the weight restriction prevent creatives from achieving their goals. The only downside is the pricing is inevitably broadly comparable to similarly capable aircraft. The unique and interesting feature is undoubtedly true vertical shooting, the ability to turn the camera 90 degrees for full-resolution portrait orientation images, ideal for social media sharing, and it certainly is very clever, but not as easy to find a use for it. The DJI Mini 3 Pro would be an impressive drone even if it crossed the 249g threshold. The fact it flies in below the magic weight limit imposed on drone pilots in many countries makes it nearly irresistible. What's more, the quality of imagery means the ultralight category has a contender, which certainly makes the rather heavier Mavic Air 2 look like yesterday's news. The option to rotate the camera for portrait shooting seems like a luxury, but it's here, with a bigger and better camera and tridirectional collision sensors into the bargain, and flying it feels a real treat in anything other than high winds.